Cleveland just can't stay quiet. The Browns were supposed to be resting during the bye week, but instead, all eyes are locked on one name, Shedeur Sanders. Reports from Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot dropped earlier today, revealing that Shedeur didn't return to practice due to apparent back spasms. And instantly, the internet lit up. Fans started asking the same question. Is this really an injury or something deeper? At the same time, head coach Kevin Stefanski made his own shocking announcement. He's stepping down from play calling duties, handing the offense over to coordinator Tommy Rees. That's not just a small adjustment, that's a full reset. Because when your team ranks near the bottom of the league in scoring, something's gotta give. But here's where things get interesting. Rees isn't your typical NFL mind. He brings that college fire, the kind of aggressive, creative offense that made Shedeur a household name at Colorado. So while Cleveland fans are panicking about his absence, others are whispering that maybe, just maybe, this is part of a bigger plan. Coach Prime has already confirmed Shedeur's been in Colorado getting treatment. But treatment for what? Or preparation for who? Because if you listen close enough, you can almost feel it. That growing tension between two quarterbacks, a desperate city, and a coach running out of time. This isn't just about a back spasm. This could be the first sign of a quarterback shift in Cleveland. When Mary Kay Cabot broke the update, Cleveland's sports media exploded. Not just because Shadur Sanders missed practice, but because of what else happened that same day. Head coach Kevin Stefanski, the Browns' offensive coordinator. To the outside world, that might sound like a small adjustment, but inside the locker room, that's a shakeup. Stefanski had built his reputation on controlling every play call, every drive, every snap. For him to suddenly step aside, that's not a decision made out of strategy. That's a decision made out of desperation. And you can't really blame him. The Browns rank 31st in total offense, 30th in scoring, and sit near the bottom of almost every offensive category you can name. For weeks, fans have been calling it what it is: unwatchable. The passing game feels lifeless. Receivers are frustrated, and the quarterback situation is hanging by a thread. Something had to change, and fast. That's where Tommy Rees comes in. A young offensive mind with that college-style edge. Fast reads, quick motion, vertical routes. It's the exact kind of system Shadur Sanders thrived in at Colorado. So when you connect the dots, it suddenly makes sense why all this happened at once. Stefanski steps back, Rees steps in, and Shedeur, he's recovering. Quietly, strategically, right before a winnable game against the Jets. To fans, it looks like chaos. To others, it looks like preparation. Because when an NFL team changes play callers mid-season, it's not just about fixing plays. It's about setting the stage. And if this new offense starts to click under Rees, the next question writes itself. Is Cleveland getting ready to hand the keys to Shadur Sanders? Let's talk about the mystery that has everyone in Cleveland guessing. What's really going on with Shadur Sanders? The official report says back spasms. Sounds simple, right? Minor issue, few days of rest, nothing to see here. But fans aren't buying it. And honestly, neither are insiders. Because here's the thing. Shedeur hasn't taken many first-team reps this season. He's barely been hit. And yet somehow, he's dealing with a lingering back injury? The math doesn't add up. Then, there's what happened during the bye week. Instead of staying in Cleveland, Shedeur was seen in Colorado, where his father, Coach Prime, confirmed he was getting treatment. But fans noticed something else. Between Twitch streams, workouts, and casual live sessions, he didn't look like someone struggling with pain. He looked relaxed, focused, like a guy waiting for something bigger to happen. Some believe the injury story might be strategic, a convenient way to keep Shedeur out of harm's way while the offense shifts under new leadership. Because let's be honest, Why risk your potential franchise QB in a system that's clearly broken? Especially when your head coach just handed the playbook to a guy who builds offenses around quarterbacks like him. Maybe the back spasms are real. Maybe they're not. But every move feels calculated. Every quote sounds rehearsed. And Shedeur? He's saying nothing. No complaints, no drama. Just silence, the kind that speaks louder than words. That's what makes this so intriguing. Because in a city that thrives on chaos, Shedeur's calmness feels like the calm before the storm. Something tells me this story isn't about an injury at all. It's about timing. When Kevin Stefanski handed over the headset, it wasn't just about changing who calls plays. It was about changing the entire identity of the Browns' offense. And that's where Tommy Rees comes in. Rees might be new to the NFL spotlight, but his reputation precedes him. A former college offensive coordinator known for bringing energy, tempo, and creativity. Everything Cleveland's been missing. His system is built on movement, spacing, and trusting quarterbacks to read fast and throw even faster. That's not just a fresh playbook. That's a blueprint for Shedeur Sanders. If you followed Shedeur since Colorado, you know exactly what this means. He thrived in chaos, making quick decisions, firing deep strikes, and reading defenses on the fly. Rees' offense mirrors that style perfectly. Short reads that open deep opportunities. Play action that freezes defenders. Designed QB movement that lets playmakers play. Now compare that to what we've seen under Stefanski. Predictable short routes, endless checkdowns, and a quarterback stuck inside a collapsing pocket. It's night and day. No wonder the fan base is restless. They can see it. This new system doesn't just fix an offense. It builds a stage for the kind of quarterback Cleveland's been hiding on the bench. Reports say Rees has already been working closely with both Gabriel and Shedeur. But insiders claim one thing's clear. The new offensive structure looks tailor-made for Sanders' skill set. So maybe this wasn't a random shuffle at all. Maybe this is phase one of something bigger. A reset built around the future, not the past. Because when Tommy Rees takes over, it's not just about calling plays. It's about changing who those plays are meant for. Let's be real. Gabriel's time in Cleveland has gone from promising to painful in record speed. Every week, it feels like the same story. Missed reads, stalled drives, and a quarterback who looks more lost than locked in. Fans are frustrated, the media circling, and the locker room energy, it's shifting. Fast. After that brutal loss to New England, the cracks became impossible to hide. 3 turnovers, 0 rhythm, and body language that screamed frustration. Analysts called it a meltdown, and even his teammates looked defeated. It wasn't just another bad game. It felt like a turning point. The moment fans realized this version of the Browns wasn't going anywhere unless something or someone changed. But here's the part that makes it tricky. Gabriel isn't just struggling on the field, he's losing confidence off it. Local sponsors are reportedly distancing themselves. His social media engagement is dipping, and the fan base that once defended him is now begging for a switch. That's the Cleveland curse. Once they turn, it's hard to win them back. Meanwhile, every time Shedeur Sanders' name trends, the comparison gets louder. It's not even fair, but it's reality. Shedeur hasn't started a single game. Period. And yet he's already being treated like the savior, the guy who can fix everything that's broken. You can feel the tension building. Every incomplete pass from Gabriel draws a collective sigh from the crowd. Every camera cut to Shedeur on the sideline turns into a viral clip online. And with Tommy Rees' offense now on deck, the writing's on the wall. Gabriel might still have the title of QB1, but the city's already chosen its next leader. He's younger, he's calmer, and his name is Shadur Sanders. You could feel it brewing for weeks, the tension, the frustration, the silence before the storm. And then, it finally happened. Cleveland fans snapped. It started small. A few social media posts, some frustrated comments on team pages. But after another rough outing and reports that Shadur Sanders still wasn't practicing, everything exploded. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, they all lit up with one message: start Shadur. Browns Nation wasn't just venting anymore, it was protesting. Fans started changing their profile pictures to Shedur's jersey. Local radio hosts spent entire segments debating why he's still on the bench. Even ESPN Cleveland couldn't ignore it. Polls showed over 82% of fans want Sanders starting after the bye. That's not just a majority, that's a movement. And in true Cleveland fashion, it wasn't quiet. Fans outside the stadium began holding up signs saying, "Free Shadur," and "Let Prime's son play." Videos went viral of groups chanting his name during team practices. It's wild. Shadur hasn't thrown a pass in a regular season game, yet he's already the most talked about player in Ohio. For a reason to believe this team isn't stuck in the same endless cycle of disappointment. They see what Shadur represents: composure, confidence, and that quiet fire that reminds people of his father, Coach Prime. He's not just another rookie, he's a symbol. And right now, Cleveland needs that spark more than ever. The fans have made their voices clear. Now it's the organization's turn to answer. Because one more loss, and this city might just force the change themselves. At first glance, this might look like a simple quarterback dilemma. One guy struggling, another waiting. But the truth? This story runs way deeper than that. What's happening in Cleveland isn't just about football. It's about identity, power, and change. For years, the Browns have been a team chasing stability, but never quite catching it. Coaches come and go. Quarterbacks rise and fall. Every season starts with hope and ends with heartbreak. But now, the conversation isn't about rebuilding. It's about rebranding. And whether they realize it or not, Shadur Sanders sits right at the center of it. He's not just a player, he's a movement. The son of Coach Prime Sanders, raised in the spotlight, trained for pressure, built for big moments. He represents something Cleveland has been missing for decades: swagger, confidence, and belief. And Nike's decision to back him publicly, that wasn't just business, it was symbolic. It was a message that the old guard is out and the future belongs to a new kind of leader. Meanwhile, Coach Kevin Stefanski finds himself in the crossfire. He's fighting to protect his system, his quarterback, and his job. But he's losing control of the narrative. Fans have chosen sides. Media has picked a favorite. And even the locker room whispers are getting louder. It's no longer just about who starts next Sunday. It's about who defines Cleveland's future. And that's what makes this moment so pivotal. Because if the Browns finally take that leap, if they hand the keys to Shadur, they're not just starting a new quarterback, they're starting a new era. One that could either save this franchise or burn everything down trying. Right now, Cleveland feels like it's standing still, but you can sense the storm coming. Every headline, every rumor, every fan chant is building towards something bigger. The city's holding its breath, waiting to see what happens next. Kevin Stefanski keeps insisting nothing's changed. Gabriel's still the starter. The system's still in progress, and the team's still focused on improvement. But deep down, everyone knows the truth. This isn't sustainable. The tension in the locker room is real. The players feel it, the coaches feel it, and the fans have already made up their minds. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders hasn't said a word. Not a post-game rant, not a single interview. Just quiet confidence, training, healing, watching, and waiting. That silence says more than any press conference ever could. Because when a player knows his moment is coming, he doesn't need to chase attention. He just stays ready. And maybe that's what makes this story so compelling. It's not just about a quarterback controversy. It's about timing, about a franchise that's been desperate for a savior, about a young man carrying a last name that already echoes through football history, waiting for his chance to add his own chapter. The Browns are heading into their most defining stretch yet. One more slip-up from Gabriel. One more disappointing Sunday, and the pressure becomes unbearable. When that happens, and it will, Cleveland won't just want Shedeur Sanders, they'll demand him. Because deep down, this city isn't looking for a quarterback, it's looking for belief. And if Shadur can deliver that, the energy, the leadership, the spark, he won't just save the Browns' season, he'll save their story. The question now isn't if he starts, it's when.